Hi, it's Mike from Mopar Aftermath, and today we're going to be repairing my fog lights today. Now, you might be asking, that's a pretty simple job. All you do is you take out the bulb and, just install the new one. Well, in my case, I actually don't have the connector cord, or the pigtail is what they call it, for the right one. So we're going to have to reinstall that. So I went out, picked up a new pigtail. We're going to have to rewire it, solder up the new ones. Rewire it to this one, so whenever this one turns on, that one should turn on. Never done this before, never soldered before, so shouldn't be too hard though, right? Well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? So the first thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take this connector cord and extend it from here to over there, because obviously it can't splice into that one. So what we're just gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take our trusty little splicers, split this off, solder it onto here so that we got a nice good connection, run this wire all the way over to that light, splice it on in, job should be good to go. So next thing we're going to do is we're just going to take our wires, strip off the excess bit. One done, two done, and we're going to take our wire, we're just going to do one for right now. You want to make sure that they're flat. You don't ever really want to twist them. You want to keep them flat just to keep that connection nice and solid for whenever you lay down the solder. Alright, so now we're going to prep up our wires by putting on a little bit of tin, so that way it's nice and ready to solder. So your first step is you take your wire, you want to put it inside the flux. I've already fluxed up this tip so I don't have to worry about it, but you want to make sure you do that. That's very important. Then you're going to go and take your solder. Take your freshly fluxed wire, you're going to kind of put some tin right on all over it, so that way it gets it nice and ready. Stick your wire on the tip, heat it up, and stick your solder down. Just like that, you just get a nice little good layer of tin, look around it, make sure all the wires are together. This one looks good. Alright, so now we're going to do the exact same thing we did to that wire to your connector cord. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take it, one of them, make sure they're all nice and together. Again, you don't want to twist them. You want to make sure they're nice and flat. We're going to go ahead and dip it in the flux. And then do the same thing, lay your solder on it. Alright, so now that your connections are nicely tinned, you're going to take one of the wires with the other wire, and you're just going to connect the two together. Alright, so now that your connections are nicely soldered up and are attached, you may be thinking to yourself, but Michael, those don't actually have any kind of protection. What about rain or, vibration? How do you protect those? Glad you asked. Well, there's a variety of different ways you can do it. You can always just use trusty old duct tape or even electrical tape. You know, just wrap them up around. You can use a variety of heat shrinks, where you just slip the tube on over the wire, heat them on up, seal it on up. Or you can go the cheap and easy route and the lazy route, which I always like. Just get a spray can of some liquid tape, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to take my little piece of cardboard, shake it on up, separate those so we make sure that you don't attach them together, and you just do a nice light coat. There's one side. Alright, now the package says that it's going to need about a 30-minute wait time in between each coats. I don't like waiting 30 minutes, so I'm going to use a nice little hairdryer for it. Alright, so we got the pigtail attached to the light bulb. So now we're just going to have to wire it, or figure out how we're going to set up this wire to run from here all the way down to that one there. So, here goes the fun. Alright, so I found my mounting points. Underneath here, I don't know exactly what part this is, but there's these little spaces here for that I could put some zip ties in and zip tie this wire. And there's one there. There's one over there. There's a third one over there. You want to make sure that you leave yourself a little bit of slack for over here, so that way if you ever need to replace your fog light again, you're not having to, stress out the wires too much. You got enough slack to where you can work with it. Alright, so now that we got it all laid out, we're going to take out the factory airbox just so that way we have a little bit more room and, make it a little bit easier. In order to take out the factory airbox, it's pretty simple. You just got a 10mm bolt right here in the front. You just take this one out, unscrew the band clamp right here with an 8mm socket. Just kind of loosen it up. You don't want to take the whole thing off. Take out the bolt. Take off your hose.
Slide your hose off.
And the factory airbox should just lift straight out. Just like so. I'm going to set that off to the side. And thus exposes our wiring harness. So here's our fog light. This is the wire that we're going to be working with this red wire here. So we're going to cut into this one. We're going to cut these. We're going to splice both ends of the wire into both of the ends into this one. Alright, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our fog light connect or pigtail, or the stock OEM one. We're going to expose back our wires. We're going to take off the tape that's over here, peel back this nice hose covering. So that way you get your two wires nice enough to where you can have enough to work with it. So what he's going to do is he's going to take here, and on the main light wire, he's just going to cut a little bit, not completely through, just enough to kind of expose the wire. So we're not cutting off the wire, just enough to where we're peeling back that rubber, the rubber housing, to expose the wire. So what we're going to do now is we're going to resolder the accidentally split cable. Alright, so now that this one is nicely spliced in, as you can see there was 2 wires, now there's a 3 attached. We're going to go and do the exact same thing with this one right here. Just lay it on top, solder it in, then after that we're going to seal it up, and then we should be good to go. Alright, we got everything soldered up. This is a moment of truth. So just to make sure that all the connections are good, that we don't have any shorts, I'm going to turn the lights on, and if this one and this one down here light up, then we did a good job.
Either of them on?
That one's not on, and that one. Alright guys, found out what the problem is, well, hopefully found out what the problem is. It's a moment of truth again. And there we have it, 2 working fog lights. For those of you who want to know what the issue was, y'all are gonna laugh at me. So from the remainder of this entire time I've had this car, I've thought that, you just turn this and this is what turns on your lights. Turns out there's actually a button, if I took the care to read, that says, oh, what's that? push for your fog lights. So that's why they didn't turn on at first. So make sure you push that button. Want to say thank you for my wonderful dad who took time out of his very busy day to help me out with this project. All in all, it was pretty good. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video today. We're going to go ahead and bring this video up to a close. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. Comment down below if you guys have any suggestions for other installs. With that being said, look forward to seeing you guys again. Again, this is Mike from Mopar Aftermath, signing off.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?